All right, what's good, word? This is your boy Jay Hicks back with another video and episode of Being a Man. So I'm your host Jay Hicks, and my co-host I have with me today is your boy Champ. Champ, say what's
Yeah,
up?
yeah. What's up? What's good with y'all people today, man?
All right, so we be discussing different topics, right? About life and overall, but some things that we don't acknowledge as well. We like to think about and like talk about. This comes from us just networking, like just talking on the game, just having a regular guy conversation. So recently, the thing that came up is mentorship. So when you think about mentorship, like and where you are at in life right now, think about the people who have been in your life, whether you had mentors or if you are a mentor, if those mentors have led to you now being a mentor as an adult. So those are some things that we're going to speak on today. So in regards to mentorship, Champ, share a few things that come to your mind when it comes to mentorship and your life experiences with mentors or being one.
Okay. First off, I'm gonna start off. As you can see, my background is me when I was a little young pup graduating kindergarten, right? So I had all these different mentors. I had my uncle. I had my uncles. I had other older black gentlemen in our neighborhood, right? They were always being mentors to the young men that was in the neighborhood. Like the young boys telling them, hey, this is what you need to do. So like
Mhm.
growing up doing that, even getting into high school with my mom, like my mom, even one from my mom, like being on me and telling me, "Oh, champ, why don't you take all your required classes for you to graduate your freshman and sophomore year, and then your junior and senior year, you can just take all the easy classes, so you can keep your GPA up real high, and you don't have to do anything hard." I was like, Hmm, that's smart. Like that's a point of mentorship. Then even just joining the military, getting in the military and things like that, me having to become a mentor and talking to other people and guiding them through certain situations and guiding them through the bureaucracy that's is the military, that is the Navy, that's any branch or any institution when you get older. Like as we
Mhm.
know, one of my mentors is in our friend group, Gabe. I was his mentor, right? And it was just basically just trying to guide somebody. As a mentor, you should be trying to tell and teach a person that may not have the right guidance in their life. And this goes for everybody. This can go to the oldest man. The oldest man could be 100 years old, and he probably still got a mentor that's probably 101. Tell him, hey, young buck, even though he 1 year older, hey, this is what you need to be doing to stay healthy, right? So, like,
Right.
even like listen to old people when they talking. Oh, don't stop moving. Don't stop moving, young man. You young. You can work 4 or 5 jobs if you want to. Don't stop moving because when you stop moving, that's when your body start to turn down, right? So you get
Right.
all these different examples of mentorship without you realizing that it is mentorship. And somebody being a mentor to you, um, doesn't have to necessarily be somebody of the same race, creed, religion, sex, or anything like that. Because if you look at it, your grandparents were mentors to you because you looked at it and said, "Oh, this is how I want my marriage to be." Like my
Mhm.
grandparents were married for a long time. My great grandparents, they got married when they were 17, right? And she was 27. My great grandma was 27. My granddaddy was 17, right? Because she died in 1992 at 98. That
Mm.
tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she died in 2000 at 98. So yeah, and she was 10 years older than my great granddaddy, right? But they were an example. They had been married their whole lives, no outside children, none of that stuff. But you look at different things and different examples, and not only you could take mentorship from people around you, but you can also observe different situations. You can observe how people act. Like, don't believe everything you see on social media. When you see people out there acting crazy and stuff like that, just look at it like, think about what's really going on. They may need a mentor. One of the greatest
Mhm.
things my mom ever told me, she's like, if you ever feel down and you feel like you can't talk to nobody, just walk up to a random stranger and just tell them all your problems. And they gonna look at you like, what the hell? But then just keep it pushing. And they gonna be like, that was a weird interaction. But then they gonna be like, hey, that person probably needs somebody to talk to. And that happened to me. It was just a weird experience. I was in Walmart and this woman, 25, 26. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in Walmart. I hate shopping around people. This old woman walked up to me. She just started telling me about, oh, my husband cheated on me. He's out here doing this and that. I think I'm gonna divorce him. She walked off. I was like, what the like, but she was like,
Yeah.
maybe she just yeah, she needed to get that off her chest. And it's just like you see those examples and see those things, and it's like even the strongest soldiers out here, the strongest person out here needs somebody to guide
All right. That's facts. That facts. Or they look up to someone who has helped
them.
them get through or become who they are. Hey, I definitely agree with you on that. So let's see. For me per se, so first and foremost, um, as you stated as well. So my background is a picture of me. A lot of people don't even know I was born premature. You can't tell from this picture because little chubby baby. But so I like to use this as an example because like even like your picture and my picture, like you never know what a child's gonna grow up into or to be, right? And one thing about me, which I'm grateful for, which is crazy. So I had what's called hyperthymesia, where I remember every single little thing. Like I remember every single thing. So this could take longer than usual, but I'm gonna cut it down on like mentorship and like the mentors that I had in my life. So as
That's
you
the reason I cut
mentioned,
mine down.
so as you mentioned, so your first like mentors like growing up, all right, they range within your family. So like my mom has been my mentor. Like she's the reason that my faith is so strong. Like I know, I can do anything that I put my mind to. Like I saw her be a hard worker. That's why I'm a hard worker. As you mentioned, your grandparents, same thing here for me. Like my grandparents, I know what it means to be in a long marriage. I work on being a long marriage, fighting for what's right, doing for others. I learned it from them. My uncles, shoot, my mom got one sister and nine brothers. So, each one of
Oh, you
them,
got Uncle
you know,
Galore.
yeah. So each one of them, I take away the positives. They took me up on their wings on certain things, even though once I got to a certain age and I was able to incorporate some of those things in my life. But like even that's expected, to have
Hmm.
mentorship within your family. Like my brother was an athlete, like he was my mentor in that aspect. I became an athlete. My sister, she was mostly a scholar. I took her mentorship when it came to education, and schoolwork. But the other mentors who I came from were my teachers, such as like I had the same teacher for kindergarten and first grade. And the crazy thing is, her name was Diana Daly. And I remember in first grade, I overheard conversation, and she said she didn't teach for the money. She taught because of she enjoyed doing what she was doing, which is
Hmm.
crazy that she mentioned that because even through high school, so I had Miss Donaldson, who was my English teacher. I hated English, but she was my mentor, got me through it to the point where I wrote papers in college. Like, come on now. Somebody who hate English ended up making money from it. I had Coach Eubanks. He wasn't even directly my coach. He was my teacher, but like he influenced me in my basketball coach, which is crazy. Like going to go to college, I had professors and all that. And all of these mentors, crazy thing is, they all were in education. I went to college for computer engineering and ended up finishing my degree in education. So it's crazy how the world works, whereas mentors can be so dominant and prominent in a person's life that can influence their outcome and even their career or how they make friends or who they make friends with, just their overall lifestyle.
Hmm.
And now I'm thinking back over those mentors, how they mentored me. Now here I am years later. Now I'm being a mentor, like especially being an educator. Like you are, that's a career where if you are doing it for the right reasons, you have no other choice but to be a mentor. And that's something else that, like, I I'm quite sure some people probably grow like out saying I want to be a mentor and they probably try too hard and fail at compared to those who are just naturally mentors and just come about. Like as a coach and as an educator, like I see like certain ways, I have to guide myself or, it's not stressful to the point where like I just panic for like, oh, I can't do anything. It's just like, I know I have eyes always watching me. Like even within my like classroom, like I say that, my kids, like I'm their father, but it's like I've had some who looked up to me so much to like their biological parents. They have been rude and disrespected, but I could say like one little word and they'll drop their head down because they know I'm disappointed in their behaviors and actions, but they correct it right then. And it's just a whole respect thing because now I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at like I can have a influence on their life right now. And I've even seen his like that I had probably like 3 years ago and be like, yeah, ain't no changing in that one. But then like, 3 years later, which is a short time really, and they've grown up like that fast. Like those 3 years ago, that student or kid probably had in their mind, oh, I don't have any ambitions of doing this and doing that. But then they come back to me now like, yo, coach, because of you, like now I can see I can do this or I have done this. But even you mentioned something else. So when it comes to mentorship, one, it doesn't have to be a person that's so much older. It could be someone who is, a peer of yours, but also it
Younger.
could be someone younger because we all had different experiences. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like some of the stories that some of my students like, shoot, they mentor me because a lot of them are like mature for their age or what they're dealing with now compared to what we deal with is heightened and their experience is so much younger. So like, it's helping each other out. And that's my thoughts and views when it comes to like mentorship, like guidance, help. As we mentioned before, um, in the past, just about like no one can do anything on their own. And something that I also like that you mentioned a whole lot, Champ, whether you know it or not. You've mentioned it on the podcast a lot, but you also mentioned like just in life, it's like constructive criticism. Like it's not to be negative or to downplay anyone or to have someone just hide up in the shell. It's to really like,
True.
learn, improve, how we always mention, adapting and evolving. And that's what it is. Like that's what mentorship is. Like you're adapting and you sharing your lessons with others and instilling that into others. So
Mm-hmm.
just want to take a moment to talk about that today, which I think is a good topic.
Yeah, man. Because like, some of my dad always told me. He said, "Now I ain't paid a lot of. I ain't paid for a lot of lessons. Why should you have to pay for them? Now you can either be hard headed and pay for them lessons too, or you can listen to me and don't have to pay for the same lessons." I chose the other one. I had to bump my head because you know what they say: you can't lead a horse to water and make it drink, right?
Yep.
So even if you've been a mentor and giving out criticism, some people are not going to take that criticism and use it. Like
Hmm.
we know we have a current somebody that we talk to, we give them advice all the time. It goes in one ear and not the other until something happens and goes wrong, and then they want to listen, but they still go back and do the same thing. And it's the same thing, like for instance, with my oldest son. Me talking to him is like I'm talking to a younger version of myself, or I'm looking at my dad. I'm like, bro, I see what my dad was talking about. You ain't
Yep.
listening. You not caring. But so you're gonna have to pay for this life lesson. And don't expect me to come bail you out. I'm only gonna bail you out one time. And that's what he told me, and it kind of stuck with me, and I ain't get it. So I got older, I was like, man, that's what he was talking about. He said, I can't sit here and pay for the same lesson twice. So even even as you've been an educator, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna me and you had this conversation before, and I said, bro, I thank you for being a black educator, a black male educator, because throughout my entire school history until I got to college, I never had one black male figure in a classroom. Not in elementary, not in middle school, the middle schools that I went to, not in the high school that I went to, none of that. Not even, matter of fact, not even in the military until I actually went to college. And that's why, like, and we just talked about this. I don't know if you remember the joy I had. So, oh man, I got two black professors. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
lit. I
Look,
was
I'm finna
lit.
tell you. I was about to tell you. So I was gonna mention that to you. So, and it's crazy that you mentioned that as well because like I've always like noticed this order. But like even with education. So now granted, all right, so I mentioned two female teachers starting off, but that's because early on in this field, in this career of education, it's mostly women anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't hear me mention a male teacher until so I had my first male teacher in the fifth grade. I had a male teacher fifth grade and sixth grade, seventh grade, yeah, yeah, and on so far. But like that's just males in general. Like even in my current school, like bro, like I can tell you there's at least like four males and probably like 40 females or whatever. But it's like even education, you have mentorship programs. And far as me, I'm a token black guy. Let's just be honest. But that's at a lot of schools. So that's why I'm even more prone to get a couple jobs anyway. Because, I mean, you got to have somebody who could relate to somebody.
Yep.
But man, but it's also crazy because of like me being relatable and know how to relate to certain kids. Like this year, like, man, it was so, I haven't even told you. So we had end of the year awards, right? And I got an award for I forgot what is it called, but basically what it's like a funny award, but it's basically for like having like the tough kids or the rough kids in my testing groups for like state testing and stuff. And man, when they gave it to me, I make everything a joke. I was like, yes, Lord. But dude, like, no. Like when people ask me who all that I have for every single test, dude, I really had like the most difficult kids, whether they was male or female. Like I had them. But it's like I'm at the point now, like I don't even like hide from them. Like go ahead and give them to me because like some will probably think that I was in military, but we all know I wasn't. But it's how strict and I am on my students with. So like even like those difficult kids like doing testing, like I just be pushing like, look, we're gonna do this right. Like this is legal. You ain't finna cost me my job, like some more shit like that. Or like just be forward. And like us, like they be like, how do you do it? Like, I don't should call anything to my kids. I talk to them like I talk to you. Like for what? I don't be real with them, and that's what a lot of them need. And like when you're fake, like, oh, little Johnny, little Susie, life is gonna be peaches and cream. Like, no, you gonna have to go to work. You have to do some stuff that you don't want to do. Like, you gotta learn the basics before you even become your own boss to know how to be a boss. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
just by that, people feel as though like, oh, mentorship program, like Coach Hicks automatically wants to do it. I don't, but like naturally, like I'll mentor because like I see the best in everybody. But man, how you mention it, like, yeah, it's not a lot. Trust me. So like how you was excited, man, it's somehow more excited than you. It probably look they probably had one male teacher their entire life. It don't matter what race he is, as long as he a male, they probably be super excited to experience that like one time.
Yeah. So, like, my whole thing is like, growing up, I had plenty of male white teachers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it, I felt like they didn't understand us and our plight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a couple of them that were cool. Like this one teacher, um, I can't, Mr. Moore, cool, cool. I'm talking about, but his situation was he grew up around black people, so he understood the plight. Like he was like, bro, I'm just a poor kid from the inner city. I grew up around nothing but black people. My neighbors are black. My babysitter was black. So I understand what y'all going through. Don't ever come in the classroom and say, Mr. Moore don't understand why I don't have a pencil. I'm not gonna tech you on it. I'm not gonna get on I'm not gonna get on you for not having the resources because I understand the home life sometimes, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's the only teacher I actually connected with when I was younger. everybody else was females, and not to get me wrong, not misogynistic or anything like that, but you know, kids see female teachers as mother features.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, mother figures. I don't know why I said features, but seeing a black female teacher, bro,
It's a huge
my
difference, dude.
my I had nothing but black female teachers growing up, from kindergarten to third grade. But they deemed me a problem child because I had a speech impediment growing up, right? So I also had to do extra
Same, same.
speech courses and things like that. And also, like, I was the very like the stuff they was teaching. I knew this already because my dad was on me. Oh, you need to learn how to read. Bro, I started reading when I was 3 or 4. Before when I got to Head Start, I already knew how to read. Why y'all teaching me my ABCs? I don't need this. Them little dumb, like this was me. That's how I used to talk. These little dummies, they need this. I need this. Like that's how I used to talk, right?
Yeah.
But that's like you can't even talk right, but I can read. I used to tell them I used to have a very smart mouth, and they got me in a lot of trouble. But it also made me like when I was younger, like this. I told y'all the story how I got kicked out of kindergarten every day. Before class even started, she pulled me in the hallway and gave me a paddle. Y'all young kids don't know anything about that. I used to get 3 licks every morning because she knew I was gonna act up. But you're teaching me stuff that I had no interest in, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like as a teacher, you should recognize, okay, he already knows these things. What can I do to mentor him to like to capture his focus, capture his attention if he already knows this? But she chose to take it out with discipline. Guess what they made me do? One day during that time, I grabbed my little scissors, snip, snip, go your hair. You're not gonna play with me. So I got kicked out of kindergarten for that for a year. Don't ever do that, kids. For the rest of the year, don't ever do that, right? So even going through those processes and me finally like getting like more male teachers as I got on and up and like into middle school and things like that, they became mentors because you see them, okay, this is how men are supposed to act. This is how men are supposed to be, right? And then you go into because there's a lot of people out there that don't know their father or don't know their mother. And those teachers in those institutions like you are their parent. You are their
Mm-hmm.
parents right there. And they're looking at you and taking examples from you. Even though you don't know it, you are mentoring them. So when I say like some of these teachers, when like we make the jokes all the time, like you don't give a F about the kids, even though we know that's not true because all the kids love you, right?
Right.
But you have teachers out there that really don't give a
That
F, and
really, yeah.
yeah, and they're just there for a check. And you notice it because all the children in their class are saying like this, looking at their watch, like, when are we getting out of here? Because I think as kids, the main mentors kids have are their parents and their educators. And as you get older, you start to branch out and start to grow and learn more. That's when you meet other people, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason why a lot of kids go to gangs and stuff like that because these teachers don't care these days. I ain't saying these days. It was. I think teachers to in this era care more about the kids because they're doing little things. Oh, they have to do the newest TikTok dance or the newest thing, the newest little trend to keep their child's attention. But I think back
Yeah.
in the day, bro, we know how the teachers was, bro.
Yeah, it was like,
Teacher,
look, I'm on here for
I'm,
a look.
I'm only here
It's,
to teach you. You act
uh,
up. Go in the go out in the hallway, grab the brick, grab bricks, get ready, right?
yeah.
But I think they were so outdated in their way of thinking because you had some teachers that actually cared, like Miss Manis. I'll never forget. Miss Manis is like, she's like, Champ, every day you turned up. What's the problem? I was like, Miss Manis, I'm coming from lunch. What do you expect? And we got football practice in 30 minutes. I'm only here for 30 minutes. I was like, she was like, why are you taking this class? Oh, because I just need a class to take. I already had all my required classes finished. This is my senior year. I was like, Miss Manis, if you so please, let me just do me. She said, "You know what? Every day you better come in here and name a new animal." I was taking zoology. She said, "Every day you better come in here and
Yep.
name a new animal."
Hey, look, that's your grade,
I
man.
was, she was like, "That's your." She's like, "That's how you gonna get your A." I was like, "Okay."
And man,
Came in there
even
every day.
stuff like that, bro, like that's the greatest. Like that creates, positive memories. Cause like even you mentioned that memory, like you're laughing about it, and that's how it is with my memories with my mentor as well. So that's I believe we're gonna end it like on that note on positive memory. So basically,
Yeah,
those of you who have a mentor who like mentored you, like give those people if they're still here with you, like give those people like their flowers because and the main flower is the outcome of you. And if you have a mentee, show them some love, check up on them. Like just as we need check up on our mentees needs the same thing as well. So again, thank you all for your time and join us on this episode. Champ, same as always, which at this point he don't mind stand up, getting
part of
up
the
or
crew.
whatever.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
it's
ain't
all
that
about
late.
y'all
Yeah,
it's all about y'all well being. So this is why we do what we do. So again, thank y'all so much. Once again, same as always. Know that you are loved. Even if you don't feel that, know that someone loves you. We love you. All right. Have a good day.